Cashflow Diary Podcast, episode 575.
Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Cashflow Diary Podcast, the podcast that teaches you insider tips, tactics, and strategies for creating leverage streams of cash flow into your life. Learn from top-performing entrepreneurs, business owners, investors, and thought leaders from across the globe as they share their secrets to success. Like what you learn on this and other Cashflow Diary podcast episodes? Go to learninvestingnow.com and sign up to receive powerful tips and information that will help you succeed as an entrepreneur and investor. Now, here's your host, investor, entrepreneur, business owner, educator, speaker, author, and master facilitator of Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow game, Jay Massey.
Hey guys, hopefully you're having a great day. And for those of you who were here early, you heard the fact that I was rushing to get everything turned on. And yeah, audio checks and everything were included in today's beginning. So it is what it is. Nonetheless, for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. My name is Jay, and I'm CEO of Cashflow Diary. And what we do is we help you become bigger, better entrepreneurs, because that's kind of the goal. That's what we're after. That's what we want to make happen for each and every person who would be so courageous as to take on their life and try to make something more happen for themselves and their family. So hopefully you weren't too disturbed by what happened at the beginning, but nonetheless, things happen because when things get can get a little out of whack, or sometimes you're just rushing, trying to get stuff done in order to make it work right. So if this is your first time here, this is how we work. For the majority of you, you can either type your question. However, we prefer that you actually go over to the call-in line, and that number should be on your screen at this particular moment. That number is 417-352-2274. And for those of you who were here early, you heard me talking to Megan. Megan is the person you need to be nice to, because she's going to make sure and ask you a couple of questions, put some notes in, so that you and I can chat in real time. Again, 417-352-2274. 417-352-2274. So, with that said, and while we wait for some people to dial in, I also want to remind everyone in the Facebook group, if you are currently a student, I've got you guys right here, so I'll be able to see what's going on. We did not figure out Instagram, so hopefully no one. Well, I can't apologize to the people on Instagram because they can't see me today. But if you know someone who was hoping that we would be there today, you can let them know that we did not make that happen. However, we are on our places on the Facebook page, Facebook group, Periscope, Twitter, and I believe YouTube as well. So type it in the chat or give us a call, 417-352-2274. Today, the topic is kind of like it always is. Let me know if you're having some issues with your short-term rentals or real estate or business or something like that, because that's where my experience lies, and that's what we can help you with. Also, many of you probably saw inside the title, I said that today is my wife's birthday. And how does that help you? We're definitely going to talk about how that helps you and some unique ideas that you may want to consider regarding your significant other, or maybe you don't have one of those yet. Either way, just something to consider as it goes through the process. So, again, 417-352-2274. I'm going to start looking for questions. I see a ton of birthday well wishes, so hopefully Poppy sees that today. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure, like most wives, she doesn't listen. Yeah. Because I can hear you all the time. Why would I tune in? Anyway, it is what it is. Nonetheless, I am glad that you guys are here today. Let me start checking the Facebook group and see we got, if anything? Up, there we go. Give us a call. Yep. What's up? I see that. Interesting. I never know which like, sometimes the questions appear there and sometimes they don't. It's so unpredictable. Either way, it's just unpredictable. Oh, hold on. Got to mute my phone so that I don't hear that. All right. Give us a call. No worries. I should speak in a creepy voice. No, Megan, don't. Well, Megan does like Halloween, so I bet you there's a number of you who actually enjoy Halloween. I'm not that much of a Halloween person. Obviously, having children, you go, but it's not like, ooh, Halloween. I don't necessarily get excited for that one. My son, on the other hand, oh my God, it is always like from the time he could walk, Halloween was like his thing. He still loves it, and very much so. So he is definitely looking forward to it. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes this year, because we're in a new neighborhood. So I'm kind of interested to see what happens as well. So anyway, so it looks like hold on. Let's see. It looks like we do have one person calling in. Megan will talk to you, but I want to get Natalie's question while I can. Let's see what we got. So Natalie is asking, or rather saying, there it is. She's like, I'm in the middle of adding photos to my listing, hoping to get a listing review from you today. I got some photo violations, though. Okay. So, Natalie, just go ahead and wherever you type what you just typed there, well, hopefully that's in the Facebook group, because if it's in the Facebook group, it'll be easy for me to see, and then I can pull that up on my screen and make that happen. So, Derek, I'm laughing at your comments. Yes, you could hear me. Thank God you were not cursing. Yeah, that you wouldn't have found that anyway. And it's funny, those hot mic situations, they can all become, they just are opportunities, aren't they? They are just opportunities. Anyway, put the Natalie, if you put the link there, and I'll be able to make that happen. Got it. So we have another question from Mariella, I believe, and then we will get to the caller, I believe. Yep. Let's see. It says, Mariella, hey Jay, what is the best way to see if the HOA is okay to turn my home into a short-term rental? Mariella, this is a great question, and the best way, per se, is to, well, read the CC&Rs. That's really what you're looking for. Every HOA produces a document that says, hey, here's what we like and here's what we don't like, etc. And you should have access to that somewhere. You might not have read it in a while, because they normally shovel it over to you when you're doing escrow and closing, and in a big stack of paper somewhere. But you go through that, and it'll typically let you know about whatever they like or don't like. Oftentimes, they won't specifically state, depending on how old the HOA is, they probably won't specifically state the word short-term rentals, but they might use words like transient occupancy or renters staying or guests staying for some sort of compensation less than 28 or less than 30 days. They might use language of that kind. So I don't know that you'll actually find the word short-term rental, but you should be able to find something. It'll probably mention something of that kind. So if you see something of that kind, that's what they're referring to. And in some cases, some HOAs are even restrictive on the number of total long-term rentals that you're able to have in the entire thing anyway. So hopefully that helps and makes some sense. All right. So let's get over here and get on the phone. I believe we have a call. Oh, Lorena. Let's see what's going on with Lorena. How are you doing?
Hey, how are you doing? I'm doing great.
I'm good so far, and yourself?
Yes, I'm doing good. It's sunny California here. No complaints.
Well, you could complain, but you shouldn't.
Of course.
I mean, there are probably some people at this time of year who are actually watching and or listening right now who have snow on the ground.
Oh, yes. We are very fortunate. We don't have any snow. Yes.
Nope, no snow. No snow.
Yes.
So what's going on? How can I help?
Yes. I still have I'm very confused still with Lodgify and Price Lab. And I'm currently connecting my Airbnb and Booking.com and HomeAway. And HomeAway, of course, I use their own price. So
Okay.
I'm connecting Price Lab for Booking.com and Airbnb. In the beginning, I didn't have a Booking.com, so I used the Airbnb Basic. Right now, I have a Booking.com, and so I use Lodgify to sync the price. And so it's kind of a mess right now. I don't really know what to do because I hook up with a calendar, and I use the Airbnb Basic. But when I hook up the price with the price that goes through Lodgify, it doesn't look like it's working. So we've been hooking up for 2 weeks already. It doesn't look like price have been synced through Lodgify. So I try to figure out, and I've been talking to technical support. They told me that I need to change it to the Airbnb Professional instead. Say Basic doesn't work, but from my understanding that I thought we just use the Basic. Is that correct, or is that anything else I need to do in order to get the price thinking right?
Got it. So if I understand you correctly, what you're saying, if I heard it correctly, in essence, the prices that you were wanting to sync over to Booking.com are not syncing. That's what I heard. Is that accurate? Is that what you were communicating?
Right now, look like the price it doesn't sync with Airbnb, and Booking.com look like it's okay. I haven't really go over there to actually calculate it because we don't have any. We don't. I still don't know the Booking.com. I haven't had any booking yet. I try to figure out am I set up right, or there's any way to trigger more booking. So that's another question that I have as well. But just for Airbnb alone, like right now the pricing is really the issue. So I kind of have my hands full right now. So I was like, okay, Booking.com, I set it up, but doesn't really have much booking. So I try to figure out that I see on the Facebook the people's mention in order for Booking.com to start to have for the booking, you have to set up right. So I just try to figure out, work with agent and all of that, and think everything in every tiny detail, things like that. But right now, Airbnb doesn't look like the price is there because I was changing from Price Lab, and doesn't look like it goes through. Doesn't look like it really reflects the price on Airbnb.
Okay, so I'm going to restate that, and all I need to know is yes or no. If I hear you correctly, what you're saying is that you currently have Price Labs connected to Lodgify.
Yes.
Yes. And then you have Lodgify connected to Booking.com and Airbnb. And as far as you can tell, the prices on Booking.com seem to be fine, but the prices on Airbnb are not. Is that correct? Yes or no?
That's correct. And yes, that's correct. And
Okay.
I use the Airbnb Basic.
Got it. And that is correct. Lodgify for Airbnb is supposed to be basic, but what you want to do is you want to now take Price Labs and connect it directly to Airbnb. And then what you do inside of Price Labs is create what is known as a child listing. And that child listing is what you connect to Lodgify.
What do you mean child listing? I don't get that.
Well, unless you want the pricing to be the same on Airbnb as Booking.com, then you don't have to. If you don't care about that, then you won't need a child listing. But if you want your pricing on Airbnb to be different than what your pricing is on Booking.com, you're going to need the child listing and connect that child listing to Lodgify directly.
But right now, as I understand in the Booking.com, when we doing the Lodgify with Booking.com, they want us to fill out the mapping Excel sheet.
Yeah, that's correct.
And so that's what I did. So
yeah,
okay, so I just take care of that. So Booking.com will be taken care of. But what you say about Airbnb is, before I do Booking.com, I actually connect Airbnb with Price Labs directly. That's what I think of my price. And thinking calendar, I use Lodgify, but price, I go direct to link Airbnb and Price Lab together.
Correct.
Is that how I supposed to do that right now?
Correct.
So I don't have to bother to load the channel from Lodgify to Price Lab. Is that correct?
No, you still need, because Lodgify to Price Labs is what's keeping your Booking.com straight.
Right. But so, okay. So let's say from the Booking.com, no, I'm sorry, from the Lodgify, I need to have one listing. I need to have two different channels, one from Lodgify, one from Airbnb. Is that correct?
No, that's why I told you to create the child listing in Price Lab.
But how do I create child listing?
Got it. They have a help file for that one. So if you go over to Price Lab, they'll be able either call their tech support, as you've already done, or just go to their help file. They should be able to assist you with that. Does that make sense? Because they've been they're good about how to manipulate their software.
So I go to help. I go to their help page and just type child
or
listing.
their correct. Or you can call them like you did before, and they'll be able to help you create a child listing as well.
So I will have to stay with Airbnb Basic, not Professional. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you so much for your support. Oh, thank you.
Excellent. So we will now get over to Natalie. Looks like Natalie is in Virginia. And Natalie, how are you doing?
Hey Jay, how are you?
So far so good. What's going on?
I'm good. So I just got my photos today, so I tried to quickly upload them before the call today. So I wanted to just have you look over it, give me your feedback. So I know I have some photo violations.
Pierre. I didn't realize it was the same person.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize. I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. I didn't realize I was talking. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up on my screen since you are there.
So I do have to add some more pictures on there. Like I have to add like the cups or the things I'm providing, like the pots and the utensils and stuff. I didn't get the photographers to do that today. But those are what I have right now.
Do it today. I don't understand.
I mean, yesterday. So yesterday when I had the photographer there, I had to leave. And so I didn't tell the designer to have him take pictures of like the coffee stuff and the pots and all those things that I'm providing as amenities in the pictures.
Got it. So all right. So you said designer. You had a designer?
Yes.
I'm looking at the photos now. Okay.
Oh, does it look like I didn't have a designer?
Let's just say it generated the question. Who is
Oh,
I'm I just call them the way that I see
I
them. I'm
know.
not so I
I'm thinking
know
it
I'm
was.
just like, wait, but what do you mean? I did. Yeah. And well there's just there are some fundamental things that I'm looking at inside. So I just, like I said, I pulled it up right now and I'm looking at this and I'm going, um that was that's not the impression I'm used to receiving when someone has had a designer. Also, the photographer, interesting. All right, so here's the challenge. And you presented a photography challenge. This is what's going on right now in general. If I'm looking at it, it says Biz Travelers Fast Wi-Fi 4K TV. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, got it. All right, so if this is the case, here's the first thing from a photographic standpoint and the impression that I am getting. This is the challenge. Is that duvet or that comforter or whatever that
Yeah,
is that you
it's
have
like,
on top, that's got to go. Okay? Because, and let me tell you why, because of whatever material that's made of, the wrinkles are highly pronounceable.
yeah.
And that brown streak isn't helping to give the impression of clean. I'm not saying I can tell that it's designed that way when I'm looking at it, but girlfriend, the is not the first impression you want. And here's the biggest issue is that I'm not sure if that first photo I'm looking at was done on a cell phone or what, but
No,
I
that's okay.
I was expecting way more dynamic range, and the problem is that I don't. I'm iffy if it was taken on a tripod because the room is off kilter the way that the photo is, and I can tell that when I'm looking at. And you'll probably have to go back and look at this on your screen, but because I'm drawing now, I can tell this because there's a difference in this wall. Whoops, right here. This wall right here is off axis. It's literally slanted at an angle and yeah. So the plane of the camera of how it was taking the photo was not parallel to the wall. Something was just off. I don't know if the tripod was off. Something was not level, and it's throwing that off. But the biggest issue is that you have so much white in this photo that it has to be lit properly. And that back wall, that there's not enough light on that back wall to give the dynamic range and impression that I think you want. I'm fine with the white, and you want to do the white and gold thing. But if you're going to do the white and gold thing, we need a lot more light in order to make this work right from a photographic standpoint, because otherwise it's coming out dark and dirty. And that's what I'm looking at right now. And that's what you don't want is it looks dark and dirty. And I'm not saying it is. It better not be. But it looks dark and dirty. Now, by contrast, I don't know if it's the same photographer, but they got it right on this photo, which suggests to me what they did here on this photo where there's a don't be the something on the wall. Anyway, I think it's the second bedroom. I can tell that they used some high dynamic range techniques in order to make this photo happen, because that's what's here. So it looks more evenly, properly lit, etc. But that's a little bit of HDR is what happened here. So this is clearly a composite shot, which is fine, but I can tell. And one thing to pay attention to is that when your photographer is going to do composite shots, it shows everything. For example, what I'm circling right now in the corner, because the vacuum marks were not done in a very clear way, I'm not saying anything. It's just distracting. I'm not saying it's not good. It's not bad. I'm not saying redo the shot. I'm just saying details matter with HDR on a whole new level that maybe they weren't prepared for. Maybe I don't know. And that's why I try to warn you guys to stay away from HDR, because it reveals so many imperfections that it just reveals a lot of imperfections. It's a part of the challenge. But I will say this of the photos that I've looked at so far, this one, what you currently have as number 3, that one should be your feature photo.
Okay.
I would not have those others. I would not have those others there. But let me quickly go through some other ones real fast. Yeah, because they're a lot of this one. Number 2 also suffers from the dark, and number 3 is different. Oh, cool. Good superimposition, but he didn't get rid of the reflection, which is really, I don't know. That's just strange. And on the television is what I'm referring to there. Mm-hmm. Why is the plant on the floor?
Hey guys, thanks for listening as always, and I'm glad that you continue to support with each and every download and subscription and share. One of the things that I want to ask you, though, is where are you listening to me from right now? I know some of you, maybe you're on a treadmill, maybe you're washing dishes, maybe you're walking that dog, and some of you are actually in a vehicle driving right now. One of the fun things that you can do, get some of your time back, is begin to living a car-free existence. But even then, it can be a little complicated. So one of the things that I want you to do is I want you to go over to Zipcar. Go to joinzipcar.com/CashFlowDiary. It's a way that I am able to still go get a car just for a few hours, very, very simply, so that if I have a lot of errands to run and sheets to drop off and running to the short-term rentals, or if I just want to go for a long trip up to LA and back, etc., I can rent a car for a very, very short period of time. And the cool part is I don't even have to pay for any gas. Again, go to joinzipcar.com/CashFlowDiary.
I have no idea the designer did that.
Huh. Okay. I wouldn't leave the plant on the floor. And oh, that's neat. So that's the desk bookshelf. That's a neat way of making that. Did you just not have square footage anywhere else? Is that why it was done right there in the hallway?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I like it. That's creative. Now, I have a question. Are you providing a laptop with their stay?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm just saying.
I'll add that on the captions, though. In the captions, I'll add that.
Totally understood. Just people like to make assumptions, and I'm suggesting you don't provide the speaker. Okay, even if you were planning.
That's not a speaker. That's actually a. Oh wait, hold on. Let me go back to that.
Oh, that's an electrical outlet. Okay, I zoomed in. Never mind. Okay, that's fine. All right, I thought it looked like a speaker at normal size. All right, cool. So that's good. Let's keep going. All right, so on your bathroom shots, you're going to want to have the curtains open. And why are you using towels that are something other than solid white?
So the designer had brought those because of the theme, but I have my white towels that I would put for the guests.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we'll see. Here it is again, HDR in effect. And you can, when you look at number 7, you'll see, you should be able to see a little bit of what I'm talking about in terms of the light and the wall and whatnot. And again, take the plant off the floor. Always open the curtains. And in fact, I don't know what's going on in this shot. All right, so there's a couple of things. One, obviously, we want to get these curtains open right here. That we absolutely must have. But I don't know what's going on right here and why all of this has suddenly got a red-orange tint. I'm assuming I don't know what it is. Some light was on, something flashed, and why did he not color correct for that? I have no idea. But that doesn't even need to be in the photo, if you can.
Which one are you talking about?
It's number 8. Number 8.
So like by the door?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The curtain needs to be open. I don't know what's going on with that one at all. Okay, we've got your closet. Okay, one more. So here's the other thing that I'm always talking about is the light in the ceiling is a different color temperature, than the light right here. And you want these to match because it starts to, well, let me put it this way. Hollywood in movies uses this color temperature light when they're in scary movies and you start going down long, dark hallways. Just know that. So you don't want that. You want this other over here, which is closer to daylight balance as much as you can. So, and if this light can't be changed to be daylight balance, I'd rather you turn it off. And same with the light in here. And then you've got, okay, I would have them redo this shot for sure because the composition, in my opinion, is way off. Like none of this is helping that shot on the side. And then you got the same thing over here. I think everything I just outlined would make a better shot than what they've got right there. Save photos. And then, interesting. Same thing from a composition standpoint on this photo, which is number 11. Get rid of everything over here. And then I would scoot this back because I want to see this from the headboard. That same angle in that way, I think would make, again, a better shot. And this time they got rid of the reflection in the mirror, which is great. He didn't do it once, but he did it on this time, or in the television anyway. And now the plant's not on the ground, which is great. I like that. Still wrinkled. Okay, so are you using pink sheets? Because that looks pink.
Yeah, so the designer wanted to use pink for the color, but I have white sheets for.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Got it. So are you saying, well, here's the challenge. You will run into somebody who chooses this for the pink sheets. I wish I was making it up. I wish I was making it up because we have changed duvets before and we've gotten messages, hey, this is not the duvet that was in the photo. And I'm like, wow, got it. So just know that. So this is a potential reshoot because of that, in my opinion, because you're going to have that. Remember, this is a review-based business, and reviews are primarily, did you set the correct expectation on the way in? This is setting a certain expectation of what's going to be present. And that's something you just really want to think about. Okay. Get rid of this shot completely. The second bathroom is just all kinds of messed up. Yeah. You don't have the white tiles. You got the thing closed. There's this weird reflection on the cabinet. It's blown out in the mirror. Did the same photographer take all of these?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Yes, Father.
I find it so strange how they can be so hit and miss. Do they edit their own photos, or does someone else edit their photos?
I think he edited it.
Does he edit all of his photos, or did you pay for you only get 5 of them that are edited?
Oh, from what I understand, he does all.
Okay. Well, I would ask that question. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. I'm just leave it alone and ask that question. You're not using any amenities kits?
Yeah, I have to have those pictures taken.
Okay. So I'm looking at photo 13. That's when I said that. Why are the pillows on 14 on the floor in the closet?
I think the designer had put that there, but he forgot to remove them when the guy came for the pictures. So. Yeah.
Do you hear what do you hear what you keep saying every time I say? Yes. Okay, got it. So do you see where the problem might be? Ooh.
Is it me?
It's ultimately you because it's your responsibility.
It is.
However, it sounds like you're using, I don't know who the designer is, but is the designer overly experienced in walking photographers through what it is that we need?
No.
Okay. And that's where that's so understand.
Well, I mean, he's a real estate agent. He does like staging and all this other stuff.
Yeah, I know he's a real estate. That you just made my point. That's exactly my point. A real estate agent is not equipped naturally to be able to do or produce what it is that we need. We need to tell a story, right? And we need to tell consistency, and we need to set a proper expectation of what is it going to be like when I get to your place. And that's not to say a real estate agent can't become, and there aren't some out there. I'm saying we can't just go, oh, they're a real estate agent, so they clearly know. They don't, because they haven't been trained and they don't understand how important, I mean, these nitpicky, what sounds like me being nitpicky, they don't understand how important it is, and more importantly, how much revenue these photos would cost you because of misset expectations. That this is exactly the challenge. What you photograph is what they expect, and if you deviate from that, you start getting reviews that say place doesn't look like the photos. Now, they're not going to be any more descriptive than that, and the problem once that happens is the next person doesn't know what that means. So they interpret worst case scenario as in nothing looks like the photos. Like it's a complete opposite. And you don't want that. So these are the things that, this is why I'm so hard on the photos. Because if we don't set it right here, everything else just goes straight downhill. And some of these composition choices, this now explains some of the composition choices. Because remember, a real estate agent, they're tasked with selling the space, not what is it like to be in that space, not create an emotion of, oh, wow, that looks like it would be fun. For example, this is another photo with a major composition issues right down here. Like, I don't even know what this down here is. Like, what is that? Why is it in the shot? Right?
And maybe I should open up the Facebook group and look at the video.
What's that?
Should I open the Facebook group to see your video?
No. I'm explaining it to you, and I know you don't have the answer, but I'm explaining it because lots of people watching, and I'm circling it on my screen, and you have the benefit of having it now recorded specifically for you. But at the same time, this will benefit other people, and they'll be able to see as well. But these composition issues, this is a telltale sign that, yeah, they're a real estate photographer or something like that, because they're not used to telling the experience of what it's like to be. I don't think that's the dining room table. I'm thinking it's the bar. I'm not really sure, but it's strange.
Yeah.
It's just flat strange. Like, I don't even understand it. And then you've got this. I mean, this is what I've circled on photo 16 is all of composition issues that should have been adjusted for before the image was created. And I mean, and what's worse is that it tells the story that you have one place setting. I'm assuming this space is for more than one person. So it's like, yeah, that's just not it. Okay, so now we back up and we kind of can understand it, but man, you should delete 16 immediately, like right now, that kind of immediately. Because, yeah. And for some reason, they like taking things at an angle. The way this floor plan is laid out and the way the windows are, this shot 17 would have been better straight on for sure. Look, the 18th, it's straight on. Yes, now straight on and back up with a little bit wider angle because, okay, so here's a different issue that's going on, is that I can see, I'm assuming, is the island curved at all, or is it actually a rectangle?
It's actually a rectangle.
It's a rectangle?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. So here's what's happening here. This is what's known as lens distortion. So I don't know what type of camera or lens they were using, but I can see the distortion. and it just creates a false impression of either the size or what actually is going on. Also, did they have a tripod?
I believe.
I'm beginning to think they did.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they need to learn how to use it better, because there again we have this isn't level, and the walls are not. Yeah. Whew. Okay.
I should have prepped myself for this call. I didn't prep properly.
And she's like, I need a psychologist. Help me. Someone. Okay. Anyone who knows Nestle or is nearby, please take her to Starbucks. She needs a hug after. But just know you asked. And there are some times where these are surprisingly awesome. And then there are some times where I'm like, I just don't want you to lose money for stuff that can be fixed and adjusted for, because you've sacrificed, you've done a lot of things to get this far, and this is a problem. See, here's another composition issue that does not belong in the shot whatsoever. And okay, so on photo 21, you have this painting on top of the dryer.
I think they were trying to be artistic with it.
Yeah, no. That's just a no. Okay, got it. No problem. Let me keep going. Let me go faster so that I can end the paint. Oh, whoa. Why is your TV not on the wall?
Okay, here's what happened. What happened.
It's always good when it starts with that.
FedEx did not deliver the 55-inch TV. So that morning, the day that the photographer came, because I had the person mount the day before, but I didn't have the TV, so I had to go to Walmart the next day. And they didn't even have the same brand that I had, so I just picked that up just as a last-minute thing.
Got it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I have recommended and stopped a long time ago of having my televisions ordered, and I started picking them up. And along with
I did that last time. It was so tiring.
I know, but this is something I will still do because of exactly what you just said. And you're just talking about one unit, and what happens is if you're doing 5, 6, 7 units at a time, you could have 21 TVs and 3 of them not show, and it's a problem. And that's why I don't do that anymore. That right there, 100%. Also, this would be better as a straight-on shot for sure. But kudos to them for using some HDR to get a lot of the exterior, but we still have poor lighting here, down here, which is making your white look dirty is my concern. And why are we suddenly using green? Green, gold, and white. That's interesting. Okay. Was that like school colors or something?
No, he just wanted to pop a color.
Got it. Okay.
This kind of hurts. We keep going.
Are you sure? Okay, I will.
Yes.
I'm doing it. I'm wondering, do I need to stop? Right? Okay. I love you, though. Please feel me. I just want you to have the same experience that others have had, and it has a lot to do. We can't skip. What is this purple thing on the table? We can't.
That's something. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Have you? Okay. Have you talked to LaTanya? Did LaTanya talk to this person before they did any of this design stuff?
No.
Okay.
No.
You do know that phone call to LaTanya was free, right? And now...
Yeah, I've talked to her before, and I was going to have her do this one, but I just had, a time constraint. And so I just went with him, and it just... Yeah.
I want you to repeat this with me. I am not rich enough. Say it.
I'm not rich enough. I'm not rich enough.
Rich enough to afford cheap things. Okay? And there's only 2 ways to do something. You're only going to do it right or again. Which do you think we're headed towards right now?
Again.
Exactly. Exactly. There are just this is the place where we can't cut the corners because we are building an asset that we want to put into service and let it work for a long time. And it's worth taking the extra time to get this right, as you're hearing in my voice. And I'm sure there's probably a ton of people.
For a second?
What's that?
Can I be honest for a second?
Always.
Well, okay, and the other reason why I chose him is one because like he has a lot of connections and he's working on getting another building that he can get me a unit in. And I wanted to build that relationship, but also too he gave me like a quote unquote very deep discount on his design. And so it was very attractive. And because I'm doing like 30-day, I'm not going to lie, like because I'm doing 30-day bookings, it makes me want to like cut costs in some areas. So that was a big thing for me to try to cut costs and, you know, hopefully build like a good relationship with him because, you know, he has short-term rentals and then he also has owners that he knows and he's also looking at buying, you know, buildings. So I just thought that going with him would be, at least for this one, to see how things go, would be, you know, maybe beneficial, maybe helpful. So yeah.
Hey, I'm not saying it's not, but what I am saying now, based upon that information, is understand that that means in my opinion, what you've elected to do is spend extra money in order to build that relationship with him. When I believe what might have been even more beneficial for you and for him is for you to have connected him with LaTanya, and LaTanya could have easily corrected a lot of these things before they got there. He could have still done it. He could have still had the job, but she would have been able to either Skype in, video, FaceTime, something. Because I mean, I don't think she's watching this right now, but I promise you, if she saw what I'm seeing right now, she'd probably be on a plane to you trying to fix it. And I'm not the design person. That's what I'm really trying. I mean, like, woo, you know? I mean, she's probably seeing things that I'm missing. And I know, okay, you don't need this photo. Number 25, get rid of that 100%. What is this? Is this the community?
Yeah.
Okay. I would strongly encourage you to not use this one, or if you are going to use this one, do you have because there's no way. Did your photographer take this photo?
Yeah.
See, this is what I don't understand. How can they get this photo right? Well, it's still not lit. How can they get number 26? I don't understand how their work is so inconsistent. It is strange. Like how? I don't understand. Okay. If you are going to use these, a couple of things. Try to use a more generic image on I would superimpose a different, more generic image on the television just in case you don't run into any sort of issues with some sort of programming or whatever it might have been on TV. I'm not quite sure if you can make out those likenesses. And then I would strongly make sure that people understand that this is the community area. It's not something that they have that they're private.
I was going to add that to the caption.
They will, that will become a challenge. And they still have some of the same composition issues going on. Yeah, more composition issues. Oh, that's a neat little room. I like that. Oh, okay, Jim, cool. See, this is what I don't understand. How can they get number 34's got to go. There's a better way to do the pool without revealing your location like that.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah.
35 is...
Because the other picture of the pool had the actual building name, so I had that option and then this one.
Yeah, both are bad then. Okay, I'm pretty much done with the photos. I'm gonna look really quick at some of your text and copy.
I have a question actually.
Yeah, go for it. I've got it. I'm sure people have seen enough of this, so I've got to get to the other questions. But go ahead.
I know, I'm sorry. No, so I actually created a account for the business, but I've been debating if I should make it like as a personal, like, person
I
instead of
don't
like
have a
the
problem
actual
with that.
business.
I slant more towards the accounts for the business anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, that's me. Some people care a lot more. I prefer to try to remove as much bias as I possibly can, if you understand my meaning.
Yep, gotcha.
Okay. I like that you're disclosing something negative, that the apartment is located on the third floor. However, I would probably find a different way to word that, meaning I'm assuming there's an elevator.
Yes, there is.
So something to the effect of under the space, you'll have convenient access to the elevator that goes all the way to the third floor where the apartment is located. Now, that might not be correct grammar. Please don't go there, but you get what I'm saying. I'm emphasizing that convenient access to the elevator and also saying that it's on the third floor. I'm doing both of those things at the same time. So I would definitely look at that. And this list stuff that you have going on here, not bad. However, it's just visually boring. And maybe there's a better way to break it up or put it somewhere. I would stay away from words like fully equipped because my definition, even better, Robert's definition of fully equipped is completely different than mine because the boy knows how to cook. He loves cooking. He knows, and I am not. I mean, you got a microwave and I got DoorDash. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So two completely different understandings of words like fully equipped. So be looking for ambiguous words like that. I like that you're putting in the distances to places. So that's also good. Any particular reason you chose queen beds as opposed to kings?
The rooms are not that big.
And you're not using a sleeper sofa for some reason? Because you have listed 4 guests.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. You're right. I'm not.
Whose idea was that? Don't say the designer.
No, it wasn't. It was my fault for not bringing it up.
Okay, got it.
Because it was really like a week, and so I didn't see the place until.
I understand.
Saturday.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think you have had enough. I think people have learned. They were like, "Oh my God!" And know this: there's a lot of people who right now are going, "I am so glad I am not her." So thank you for being a sacrificial lamb today, for lack of a better word.
I appreciate it. I appreciate your
hopefully we didn't scare off anybody else from calling in.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Take care. Bye.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so man, anyway, if you got a question, 417-352-2274. I don't know. I just try to give it to you straight. My goal is to help. And when I see stuff, I'm going to say stuff because you come to us for a certain you want a certain response or level from your business, and I want to make sure that you get it. And there's just very specific formulaic things that you can repeat that are systematic that most hobbyists aren't doing, right? And some of you think well, I can just do the photos and that'll be great, but it's what's under the photos and how certain things got there. And anyway, it's an entire recipe, it's more than just the ingredients. And Neftali, she's, you heard, it's not her first rodeo. She knows she made a conscious choice, and then she made a second one by asking me to assist her. So I don't think I would have done anybody any favors by just making her necessarily feel good. Although if one of you out there in Virginia want to take her for a coffee, I completely get it, and please do so because I did kind of go to town a little bit, but I just wanted to make sure that everything is done right. All right, so let me get some of the questions for the Facebook group and do something completely different before it gets worse. Okay. Oh my goodness. Could you close Oh, got it. So you don't want to, okay, so no problem, Bradley. I can do that on the next one. That way you guys can see more of it. No problem. Hey, Marvin, how are you doing? Convenient access to the elevator that takes you to the third floor. Yes, that's a great way of saying that. English and history, and definitely grammar, by far my worst subjects on the planet. Let's see. I appreciate the feedback. No problem. You know what? You let me put that on the screen so that everybody sees. See, she says she appreciates it. Don't be hating on me. I'm just trying to help her out. All right. Let me go to students and get some of your. Am I on the right channel? Okay, there it is. Okay. Man, that was pretty rough. Pretty rough. Van is asking a question. He says, what are my thoughts on the Airbnb custom URL link per listing? It's a Band-Aid, I guess is the best way of saying it, because ultimately you want to have control. You want your customers, if you're going to take the time to send out a listing or promote somebody's anything, I would want to build that traffic for my own domain, not over to Airbnb's. That's the short answer at the end of the day. That's what I would rather you do, because long term, that's going to benefit you the most, as opposed to you generating the traffic, sending them to your custom link, and then paying Airbnb the fee for what exactly? You know, yeah, no, that's my ultimate thought. Now, not seeing any more questions in the Facebook group doesn't mean they're not there. Just means I don't see them at the moment. If anybody's calling in, now would be the time, 417-352-2274. And let me explain what I meant by saying, how does my wife's birthday help you? Ultimately, what it comes down to is, as an entrepreneur in general, we are, I would say in general, not all, slanted towards the positive. We are positive people going in the good direction, can only see things working out, only see things working well. That's just how we're built, and that's a good thing. And that's not to say that my wife isn't, but it is to say that having someone else's perspective whom you trust consistently to be there and make sure that they're on the same team because their boat's tied to yours, so to speak, makes a huge difference. Also, I also know that there's a number of you out there who maybe your spouse is not yet on board. And I understand that. And what it takes, though, is what I like to call shut up checks. It's a check that you have, which then, once generated, it quiets that voice in the back of your head. It quiets your friends from becoming those, oh, how's that thing going yet? And sometimes it quiets the spouse wondering. And because typically what I have found across all of the students that I've worked with and entrepreneurs across the globe, what your spouse is usually concerned about is, will we be okay? Will we be safe? Is this going to hurt us at the beginning? And they're coming from a completely different space. And Poppy and I, we went through those phases of those things. But there's a lot that you guys just wouldn't know. For example, this whole business wouldn't exist if not for her advice. I just want to make sure that that's really clear. So making sure you have someone like that is important. And a lot of the things that we've been able to do to help people exist because of her. And that's really important. You may not see her. That doesn't mean she's not around, not doing something in some way, shape, or form. But, you know, when it comes to understanding cleaning and design and colors and all of those things, these are all small things that I've had to learn. The kitchen, 100%. And it is still a team effort. As you guys know, we have 4 children, and that does not happen on its own. And yet, she still makes time to help a number of you with utilities and all of these things. I say all this to say that and forgive me, I recently saw Hamilton, so it's really on my mind. In the same way that George Washington needed a right-hand man, you in your business need that same thing. And for many of us, it's our spouse. So remember to hug him or her today, and make sure that if nothing else, that they know the contribution that they're making, even if that contribution isn't necessarily as public as they might think or you might think it needs to be, because it matters. And again, I'm telling you unequivocally, we would not be here. This would not be what it is. She found this studio. I mean, there's so many things like that you just miss. And I say all this to say, go find that right-hand person for you, because your business needs it, and it will continually help you, because as an entrepreneur, again, we have so many blind spots. Somebody's got to watch out for them, and obviously she watches out for mine, but now that you've seen the example, you go find one for yourself too. Hopefully that makes some sense. With that being said, it's a surprise caller. I don't know if I like this. Okay, well, we have another caller, so let's see who it is. And it says it's a surprise caller, so that's going to be a problem. Hi, surprise caller. Who is this?
It's Jasmine again.
Oh. It's one of my daughters. Awesome. How are you?
Jordan's here too.
What's that?
Jordan's here too.
Oh, Jordan's there too. Okay, got it. So do you have a question this time?
Yes. And did you mention it's Mom's birthday?
I did mention it is Mom's birthday. I absolutely mentioned it. Thank you for making sure. What's your question?
Can I have some units?
Can you what?
I want to run units.
You want a unit. Got it. Awesome.
Yeah.
We will talk about how that to work too. What's that?
Jordan wants a unit too.
I bet she does. No problem. Wouldn't that be something if I taught you guys how to run a unit yourself? That would be cool. Let me think, because that would just be absolutely funny, because then nobody has an excuse. Run a unit just like my 11 and 10-year-old do. I like it. Let me think about that one, darling. I got another caller, though, I think, so I got to go.
Okay.
All right, bye. Okay, let me see. I see someone else is in. It looks like someone else is in there. Oh, I'm just waiting for some notes. Okay, then let me see what else we got. What is the best way? We got that. I'm just looking for more comments. I think I got all those. Okay. And what do we have here? So Ladero is referring to the fact that he's asked for feedback before as well. And he's just letting people know that we've all been there, completely ripped to shreds. I have a wall that Jay called baby diarrhea brown. I do. Yes, I did that. I did. But hey, if it makes money, it's fine. I mean, I've got that one wall that's like mustard yellow, and I would have never guessed. Anyway. Whoo. Yeah. Never guessed that. Awesome. Megan, thank you. Let's see. Sending digital hugs. That's funny. Woo. Okay, so Ladero wants me to teach the kids to run a unit. That would be funny. Interesting. That's a curious one right there. I think this isn't. I like the idea because it's highly marketable. Woo, that would be interesting. All right. Let me see. Are we done for the day? I think so. I'm just not seeing questions. So if you have a question, I'm checking one more space just in case. Oh, I apparently missed a few questions. Hold on one second. I just now found them. So Russell is asking, he says, what calendar rules are setting for the holidays? No check-in, no check-out on the actual holiday, or how many days before or after are you starting the rule? Anything different for New Year's Eve and day? Yes, great question. Okay, so let's talk about that real fast, and we'll get it done. So, Russell, when it comes to these holidays and et cetera, like we're talking about right now, first of all, it has a lot to do with what staff you have available. So check with your staff. Are they okay with, do they, AKA, even celebrate the same holidays that we're talking about at this moment? So if they don't celebrate Thanksgiving and they're okay with working on Thanksgiving, then it's not necessarily a bad thing for you to not allow departures. So typically, we don't mind arrivals on the holiday. It's departures that will prevent. So we'll block people from departing on a Thanksgiving, on a Christmas, or on New Year's Day. We want to block people from departing that day because typically our staff does not. And in some cases, maybe they have light staff. So what we'll do is we'll still block them, but that doesn't mean we won't accept some. So that maybe instead of potentially having, the entire portfolio turn on a holiday day, when they have light staff, we'll just make sure that only some units can actually be that way. So that's part of the conversation that you need to have with your staff, like now. So that's regardless of what type of holiday, even Halloween to that for some. I mean, because like if I was doing this in New Orleans around Halloween, it'd be a whole kind of interesting thing. See, now, how many days before or after depends on the holiday. Usually at least a minimum of 2, and sometimes it can be 3 or 4. Again, depends on the holiday and or the event. So for us, a Christmas and a New Year's is usually going to be a 3-day, so where we're running a 3-day minimum, and it's on the day before, the day of, and the day after. And depending on your demographic, and some of you could actually get away with a 7-day minimum, and depending again on your demographic, some of you may be able to actually do a 14-day minimum especially on a Christmas and or a New Year's. So it just depends. You got to know your customer, but some of you definitely should consider 7, depending on where you are, type of housing, etc., who it is that you're serving. Let me see what else this is saying. Whoops. I am looking for the other comments. Just give me 1 second, guys. I just now saw them. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Wow. Lots of happy birthdays. And Ladero, do we have time to talk about cleaning company versus having in-house cleaners? We are thinking of transitioning to pay per hour, imposing a cleaning time max. We know very closely how much time is needed to thoroughly clean each type of unit. In running numbers, this would significantly cut our cleaning costs more than half. Got it. Okay, so yeah, sure. So this question comes up from time to time, and that tells me that you're getting to a certain number of units as well, because when you start going, all right, instead of paying this cleaning company, it's time to bring it in-house, there's a number of things to consider. Chief among them is the cost of employment law, period. Because depending on the state you're in, there's a thin line, usually a very thin line, between employee and contractor, right? And being able to ensure that you can classify your persons as a contractor is going to be paramount from a cost structure perspective. So that's part of what you've been outsourcing. That's one of the things I want you to see is that you've been, while yes, it would lower your cleaning costs, part of your cleaning costs actually have nothing to do with cleaning and everything to do with the organizational structure. You're helping compensate the entrepreneur who's standing in the gap that and paying the price, literally, for that organizational structure. Because most of the time, the cleaners are likely to be classified as employees. Now, before you throw your hands up in the air and say, but no, I pay mine as a vendor, great, awesome. It never matters until there's a injury on the job, workman's comp claim, something in that nature, right? That's usually when it matters. Or they get mad at you and you fire them, and then suddenly they just talk to somebody. And someone says, that sounds like, they just talked to somebody. They could even be talking to a friend. And suddenly the claim gets filed. That's when it matters most of the time. And you feel like, hey, you're getting away with something. And then once that claim starts and you start going down the EDD department, and it becomes a thing. So be really, really, really clear that they can be contractors. If you can keep them as contractors, then there's probably a cost savings that your business can realize, provided, because here's the second thing that entrepreneurs are standing in the gap doing. They're standing in the gap literally scheduling people. Because see, as it currently stands, if/when they miss a cleaning doesn't go like you want, etc., you don't care who they send. They just have to send someone, right? So what does that mean? They typically that means that they have a number of different individuals on staff or who they have access to, right? So that if someone has, they got to watch their kid, or they get sick, or they're out of town, or they want to take a vacation, or whatever, or they already had 3 jobs that day and they just can't do another one. Whatever's going on, they've been able to put themselves in a position to absolutely assist you. So with that being said, when you think about those two things, if you can have them be a contractor and maybe you have someone internally who's now going to be in charge of the scheduling of who goes where and when, and making sure all of that is done and still running QA, then yeah, you probably have a way to make it work. I would be hard pressed to believe that you're at a size at this moment where if they're employees or you don't do that either you're going to suffer in the quality of life, or it's going to cost you close to the same in order to just execute it. But run the numbers, and if the numbers support it, then know that you're going to need at least one. You're going to need a scheduling software in some way, shape, or form, or some sort of scheduling tool, and then you're going to need an additional Trello board to put together your processes for them about how you want things done, etc. And then if you can make it past all of those hurdles, then it's sourcing talent, because hospitality in general is one of the industries with the highest turnover rates, at least in the United States, possibly world, but I know in the United States for sure. So you're going to need a consistent pipeline of individuals to hire and train, which means you need 2 systems, one for hiring so that you don't have to do it, and then one for training so that you don't have to do it. So you're adding 4 systems to replace the individual, and after you've built those systems, tested and trained those systems, you can hire them as a vendor, and you've got someone to oversee the department. If after doing all that, you still realize a cost savings, then great. And that's also assuming you don't add more units. There does come a point where you have enough bedrooms, you have enough revenue, you have enough all of the everything to actually make that a very viable thing. I'm aware I could probably lower my own cleaning bill $4,000 a month or so Yeah, I could probably lower my own cleaning bill by about $4,000 a month total. I wouldn't charge the customer any less, but we would keep $4,000 or so a month more. But I still don't do it for the reasons that I've just stated, because the cost of building those 4 systems, finding a person, and hiring and training are the things I just consider it. That's what I'm paying them to do. I'm literally paying you, and I'm outsourcing those things. But if you're at a large enough size, knock yourself out. Or if you intentionally plan on staying small, that could also work. But that's just, that's how I see it. So hopefully that helps with Daryl. All right. Refresh one more time and look for a phone call. Oh, we have a phone call. Let's see. Let's go here. Marvin, how are you?
Pretty good, my friend. How are you?
So far, so good. It says are you in Jamaica, or you have units in Jamaica?
I am in Jamaica, and the units are in Jamaica.
Oh my! Wow. I think have you called? Yeah, have you called before?
No, I came across you on YouTube, and I've been binge watching your videos and stuff. So I saw that you were live. I said, let me see if I can get any valuable nuggets from you while you're on. If it's allowed or not, I don't know.
Got it. What time is it in Jamaica right now?
Right now it is 7:27.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're +2. Got it. Okay.
Even
cool.
though my laptop is on Eastern Standard Time, but all right. So I'm gonna kill the YouTube feed here because it's
yeah, you're probably getting
I have 2 earlobes, but it's not good for listening to 2 different things, especially when I'm trying to concentrate on something. All right. Okay, good deal. So I have do you have my listing up?
No, we typically only do listing reviews for existing students. But if you have a question, I probably can address it, because I don't have a way of getting the actual what I need.
Are you familiar with the market? Jamaica?
With Jamaica?
Yeah.
No, sir. I have not even considered going to Jamaica
at
all.
I have 2 units in Kingston that are rentals. So I actually do the rent out of my pocket and everything. And then I had the people that own the units it's 3. I live in one, and I do the Airbnb with 2. And then I have the owners of the units that I do the Airbnb business. They saw the success I was having with that, and they have a unit at a 5-star resort in Montego Bay. So they gave that to me, just doing profit sharing.
Define gave.
Say it again.
You said they gave it to you. When I hear give.
No, as far as not a rental, it's a profit sharing. So whatever the cost is, the cost comes off the top, and then we split it. We have a mutually agreed upon structure.
Okay, got it.
That right. So that has been blowing my mind, because I was doing decent with the Kingston properties. They were taking care of their the overhead and putting a little bit extra on it. But the Montego Bay and the 5-star resort has been blowing my mind, because it's like running away with everything there. It's like outperforming everything, and that's not even one that I control 100% like that. So I was just wondering. I pay a lot of attention to it to try to see if there's something that I'm doing wrong in Kingston as opposed. I think it's just location for the most part. But I understand I'm not a student, so you're not going to be able to analyze it to give me any feedback on that. But that is what I...
Let me explain why that is. Because
I understand.
Well, no. Yeah. Not that I don't want to. It's just that the way that we go about attacking how we construct a unit, it starts with what I call, whom do you want to serve, and understanding that piece. Like we have one of our trainings inside of our mastermind product is literally an hour and a half of just that with like about 30 questions. And then we even have a 6-hour training where we go over it live, because that is the foundation of the analysis in order to figure out, oh, here's the problem. The problem is that you actually are priced too high for this particular demographic, not necessarily your location. Or sometimes the problem has been just the words you've chosen, because you're communicating to a different person in the way that you've chosen. And it's not that, again, because I want to. I'm excited right now. I'm like, oh, cool, Jamaica. That sounds cool. I've got friends that are from there. They tell me about the two places, Kingston and Montego Bay. They say it all the time. I have never been. It's not the point. The point is, I want to help, but I would be ineffectual if the unit is not built on the same system. Because, for lack of a better way of putting it, I know how to fix Audis and Lamborghinis, and if you built a Maserati, I don't know
lost.
about.
Right.
Make sense?
Gotcha. Totally understand. Totally understand.
But I will say this: if you are running the same settings, and are you using a dynamic pricing tool?
Of course, absolutely.
Oh,
not only the dynamic pricing tool, as I told you, I spent a lot of time on it. So I've even been playing around with the additional fees.
Oh, okay, good.
Right.
Okay, got it. So yeah, there are so many levers and switches.
Exactly.
That it's like that there are just so many things that it could be, and that's where trying to start from the same level playing ground, so to speak, makes it easier for me to diagnose. Which is why that's why. And again, I just don't want you to think it's not because I don't want to. It's just like,
no, I understand the premise. Believe me.
Okay, got it.
So no issues there. But just to add, I know you can't evaluate too much. But just to add, I gear towards, even I get the one-nighters. I don't block them. If they come, I'll take it because whatever. But I'm targeted towards the long-term, like a week, 2 weeks, a month. I had a guest stayed for a month, came from India recently. So the way that I have tweaked the levers, it has been panning out. I had a check-in today a week. I had a check-in in the other unit. Been there since Thursday, 1 week. They check out on Thursday. So that's what the pricing structure with all the levers that I have to play with is based on being attractive to that type of clientele, the week or more clientele.
Understood. I'll tell you what, there is a training that we have that is publicly available, if I remember correctly. Send an email to info@cashflowdiary.com and ask Stella, she's the one who probably received that. We did a training where I talked about the metrics and levers to pull. It was the training where I went over there's a growth potential formula that I got from digitalmarketer.com, Ryan Dice. Anyway, it has letters in it, L times C times M times F, growth potential. She'll know what that training is or the link to that training. I just don't remember it off the top of my head. That will help some of the diagnosis and stuff. And when it comes to building some of build, like I said, if you want to build an Audi or a Lamborghini, et cetera, if you want to understand our system, you can go over to cashflowdiary.com/star. And we go over that, and so that people can begin to understanding of our methodology, our philosophy, and most importantly, because when you end up in this situation, it makes it easier for me to understand your metrics, what they mean, and help in some way, shape, or form.
But having not went over it previously and mentioned it to you just now, and then you're telling me to go to it, it seems like I'm on the right track.
Correct.
Thank you so much.
There are things that you're probably doing that are intuitively correct, and we able to add, for lack of a better way of putting it, fuel to that fire to increase revenue. Even if we increased revenue, I don't know, $5 a day on your ADR, that would be helpful. because in my opinion, every dollar matters. But
Of course, of course.
so
And I'm
that's
running.
really,
I run a pretty tight ship. The resort, I don't have to worry about because the guests actually pay for the housekeeping on arrival, so I don't have to worry about or think about
yeah,
housekeeping at the
yeah.
resort at all.
That resort play, if you can get more of those, you'll probably you probably really define your family tree if you can get more of those.
Well, it's an anomaly the way it is here. It actually is a defunct operation, and they ended up selling, a building as individual units. That's how the people that I entered into that agreement with got it. That's the only one that they have at that location, and most of the people that own in the building do the Airbnb, do extremely well. And the homeowner association down here, they call it a strata, but
Okay.
it's equivalent to a homeowner association. They're trying to outlaw the owners from utilizing the units for renting to or short-term rental, or any kind of rental they're trying to outlaw, whether it's long-term or short-term.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but my understanding is that it's been going on for a few years and no end in sight. So, initially when I got it, it was tentative until the end of the year. I just had a meeting with them last week, Friday, and we're going to continue on into 2020. So,
I appreciate
excited.
you taking it on, man, going out there and making it happen, because it's entrepreneurs like you, yourself, that are going to make that change. And as long as you keep operating and just help them to see that there is a way to operate properly.
Absolutely.
That's really what they need to see. They need to see more of that. That's why we took the time to build the content, why we've built the community. It's why we do what we do, is because we want more operators out there who know exactly what to do, how to operate, so that people can see it. So good job, though. Good job.
And I have even done a little diversification as far as I have property coming on board. I'm not going to be the host on it. I'm going to be the co-host. I had my reasons for doing that. What I'm offering is at a particular geared towards a particular demographic, and the property that someone tried to get me to manage for them doesn't quite fit the mold, and I don't want to risk like bad reviews and all that stuff. So, I opted to go ahead and have them host, and I'll be in the background as a co-host, doing the pulling the levers and all that stuff, and have it just take a small percentage from just doing that function. So.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you strongly, and I'm going to just encourage you to know that once you understand who it is that you want to serve, it's usually best to stick as close to that as humanly possible, and build a brand around that.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I was just trying to. So you understand where I'm coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Right, perfect.
100%.
Because it was offered to me to run it exclusively, but
yes, I got it 100%. Sir. I appreciate
wonderful.
that, though. Thanks for reaching out.
Hey, I appreciate you.
So cool.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the time, and I will keep binging on all your material.
We'll just keep putting content up there worth watching, sir. Thank you.
And that attention is to Stella, correct? At info@cashflowdiary.com.
Della, Della. It's info at
Della, not Stella, Della. All righty. All righty, I got it. Thank you so much.
Talk to you later. All right.
Have a good one, my friend. All righty. Bye-bye.
No problem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was easily our first caller from Jamaica. That was pretty cool. Because I've said it before, I say it again, this business model is applicable literally everywhere. We at CashFlowDiary, we have students in, I believe it's 16 countries. We got every continent except Antarctica. So if you know someone, we should have like a prize for the first person to do something in Antarctica. That would be awesome. Anyway, we've helped people, even in countries where I don't speak the language. And again, with, I guess, Jamaica, you could say that's one of them. They speak patois, I believe is what it's called. And I don't speak that, but also European countries as well, where at the end of the day, humans are human. And we all want very similar things from the places that we hang out and stay and visit, et cetera. So long as you remember that, there's a system that we can help you build around it. And that's pretty much what we do. And if you heard something today that you're like, cool, I need to know more about that system, just go to cashflowdiary.com/STAR and get started. cashflowdiary.com/STAR. For those of you who are students, hopefully this has been helpful for you. Again, everyone give Neftali a big hug, and she fell on the sword for everybody today. But ultimately, I just want to remind you, again, most of you probably haven't read my book. There's a concept in there that I call carefrontation. It's not a confrontation. It's a carefrontation. I'll get in your face. I will tell you exactly what I think. And it's only because I want your business to do better. Because I know if your business does better, you will have a completely different experience while you are here on this planet. And hopefully we'll go do something else, something different, something better than what you have already done so far. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, I absolutely appreciate your attention today. Thank you for those of you who dialed in. And those of you who just watched and thought about dialing in, next time, dial in. Anyway, it's been fun talking to you guys today. I look forward to talking to you soon. Until next time.